you for joining me for the Yin class. This week we are doing the fire element. This is very much focused around the upper body, using the heart meridians and the small intestine meridians, which I'll talk to you about a little bit more during the practice. But first of all, I want you to come into a comfortable position. Always have props when doing Yin, so just make sure you feel comfortable in a seated position. You can use blankets or a cushion underneath your hips if you wish to. And we're going to come into a mudra first, just to ground ourselves. And this mudra is known as the Thunderbolt mudra. It's really linked to the fire element. And this is bringing the thumb to the middle ring and little finger. The tips all join the thumb and the index finger stays extended. And then we're just going to rest this mudra on our laps, thighs, wherever feels comfortable. And then we're going to close our eyes. And as we close our eyes, we're going to come into our breath. With each inhale, we're looking to expand the lungs laterally, heart space laterally, and then take that breath down into the abdominal cavity, all the way to the pelvis, grounding us to the earth beneath us. And as we exhale, we're just going to soften those shoulders, let that chin slightly tuck in, and just lengthen through that spine, as if there's a piece of string going through each vertebra, lifting us up towards the heavens as we ground down towards the earth. Just closing those eyes, coming into the body. Devoting the next hour to the fire element that lives within each and every one of us. With each exhale, let those shoulders drop away from the ears. Let the muscles in the face relax, soften. And just feel the ebb and flow of the breath. And our affirmation is going to be: I enjoy the present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy the present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy the present day with joy in my heart. And you can join me and say this out loud or silently if you prefer. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. 3 more. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy this present day with joy in my heart. this present day with joy in my heart. And then just taking a couple more deep breaths into the body. Feeling connected to this Thunderbolt Mudra, which connects us to our inner fire. Last deep breath here. And then just exhaling, releasing that breath. And then just slowly releasing the mudra, extending the fingers, opening the hands and the eyes. And then from there we're going to come into our first pose, which is going to be child pose. So just coming up onto all fours, knees under those hips, wrists under those shoulders, and then just exhale, sink the glutes, buttocks back as far as you can. If you need a prop or anything in front for your forehead, place it there. And then we're going to bring these hands either side and bring that forehead down to the ground or a prop. And then just bring your focus to your breath. As you inhale, fill up the heart-lung space. Let that breath travel down, feeling it in the back, all the way to that tailbone. A little pause, and then just exhale, slowly releasing that breath. Allowing that exhale to finish in the heart-lung space, feeling them deflate, empty, and then start the cycle again. When we come into a yin practice, we choose surrendering and allowing. Therefore, the main essence of our breathing is nurturing. We don't want it to be forced. We want it to nurture us. And we want it to be an effortless flow. So taking that time to find that effortless flow. Allow those shoulders to slide away from each other. Let the forehead sink deeper into the floor or a prop. Let your buttocks sink down towards the heels of your feet. Let your shins sink into the ground. Be a lovely experience to just allow ourselves to expand. And deflate. And we can expand our awareness of our breath. How does it feel? Where does it go? What what does it reveal to us? Last 3 breaths in this pose. And then when we're ready, with an inhale breath, we're just going to slowly bring ourselves up. And we're going to come up onto all fours to do a half anahata here. So with our half anahata, we're going to extend this left arm out and bring this right forearm across the body. The tailbone rises up towards the ceiling and the forehead lowers down. Again, if you want a prop, you could place a prop here. Also, if the shoulders are very tight, you can flex your elbow. You could even take your forearm down. So just take a few deep breaths, allowing yourself to get into the pose. Fire is not a light element, and its thrust is like that of the wood. It's strong. So we need to make sure we take the first few breaths to feel where we can stay for a little while. So we're looking for that stillness in yin, but at the same time, we can move as and when we need to allow ourselves to find that stillness. Start to listen to that breath. If we meet stiffness and tightness, we can just breathe there. A long inhale and a long exhale. Allowing the body to open through the breath. Fire element is the most volatile of all elements, where the wood element gives us hope and the water element brings us unity. Fire, above all, bestows love and joy. Its great gift is love and joy. So allow this love and joy to enter. This posture, the anahata, half anahata, stimulates both the liver and the small intestine, which are the two organs linked to the heart, fire chakra, fire element. And this can be quite intense. We carry a lot of tension in our shoulders. So see if you can take that breath there. See if you can ride with this strong element. And see if you can bring some softness into the tension. Some release. So we're into the final minute this side. How's it feeling? Observe oneself. Be non-judgmental. So you can discover how our mind works and how our patterns form. Find that 4-beat breath. That inhale expanding into the heart, chi. Travelling up this time towards the pelvis. Filling up the belly on its way. And then as we exhale, we release, surrender, soften, embracing this vibrant fire element. Last 2 breaths this side. And then when we're ready, on our next inhale breath, we're going to come up slowly. So as you breathe in, bring yourself up slowly, bring that left hand back, right hand to the side, and just sink back. Forehead coming down, and maybe just gently swaying from side to side. Just rocking. Loosening those elbows. And then with an inhale breath, we're going to rise up. This time we're going to extend that right arm out, taking it out as we bring the left arm across. That forehead coming down. And taking the first few deep breaths to explore. See if perhaps we need a prop to support, if we need to soften in that right elbow. If we want to bring that chin down, maybe to go deeper. We're listening. Trying to avoid that yang though, we don't want a huge amount of effort, we're not pushing, we're nurturing. So as you start to settle, allow yourself to sink deeper, deeper into that pose, feeling the difference from one side to the other. And remembering if we meet that stiffness and that tightness, we can take that breath there so we can explore the body through the breath, observing, discovering. And remaining neutral. Being loving and tender towards yourself, so that any patterns that have been stored in the body for a long time can slowly start to shift and be released. Making room for something else, something deeper deep inside us. So we're into that final minute this side. Allowing the yin and our mindful approach to open our awareness, our receptivity, to support us on our journey to fulfillment, and allowing ourselves to find our authentic self beyond tension, beyond emotion. Keep coming back to that breath. Keep surrendering and allowing. Last 3 breaths this side. And when we're ready, using our inhale breath, we're going to bring ourselves back up slowly, bringing that right hand to the ground to help lift us up. As we come up, take those knees as far apart as feels comfortable for you. Take those elbows nice and wide, and either releasing the chin down or the forehead, and then just rocking from side to side. And then from there, just slowly bringing ourselves back up, coming back up onto those knees, onto those hips, those wrists, onto the shoulders. Then bringing the forearms down, tailbone stays up, and just gently lowering the chin, chest down. From there, bringing those hands out in front, forehead placed on those hands, and just rocking from side to side. From there, inhale to raise the head up, bringing those forearms out in front. Make sure those elbows are under those shoulders. To make it a little easier, you can place those elbows a little further in front, gives you a little more support. And we're going to come into Sphinx pose. So there's a couple of options here. For some of us this can be very tense, so you can come into a crocodile, which eases it. Gives you a little more support, crossing those forearms in front. So just have a little play here with the first few deep breaths. Remember to close those eyes if you can, because you need to explore inside with that breath. And once you feel that you can settle, keep those eyes closed if possible. Soften the lids, soften the jaw. And feel the rise and the fall of the breath. This is a huge heart opener. But it's not like the cobra or the up dog pose, because we're trying to relax in it. So if possible, we want the glutes to soften, release. So the buttocks to soften and release. If the lower back feels very tender, you could perhaps gauge slightly, or you could come into that crocodile with that additional support, with those arms, forearms coming across the chest area. Try and let the shoulders soften, almost fall in, those shoulder blades fall in towards each other. And just listen and connect with that breath. Now in yin, we need to lengthen the pose so we can allow ourselves time to feel, explore and surrender. So wherever you feel tension building up, can you let it go? Can you release it? We're activating the heart and the small intestine meridians. The heart meridian starts in the heart and it runs around the front of the body, through the front of the shoulders, front of the arms. As the small intestine is more in the back of those shoulder blades, the back of the arms, into that neck as well. So by breathing deeply, we're encouraging these meridians to flow. And tight muscles and tension can block these meridians. Is also known as the spirit, and it is where our spirit lies, has potentially unlimited stores of love to offer. It brings us courage if we are prepared to open our hearts. Open our hearts to love. We must be prepared not only to be welcomed, but to be rebuffed and hurt. Because fire risks the most of all elements. because it is the most open. As it throws off its cloth to greet the heat of the midsummer sun, it leaves it naked and vulnerable to its own love of life. So fire's great learning is detachment. It has to learn to allow others the right to refuse its love and remain undevastated by their refusal. It has to learn there is a time not to love, as well as a time to love. Last 3 deep breaths here. Looking for that surrender. Now this time, as you next exhale, just release down, make that pillow with the hands, just rest that forehead and just rock from side to side. Now just for an additional minute, we're going to come back up. If we were really feeling this for this additional minute, we may want to just be in a more gentle crocodile pose. We may want to stay in Sphinx, or we could bring ourselves up into Seal. This is extending through the arms, taking the palms down to the ground and really lifting this heart space. So listen to how you feel. We're letting go of the ego, we're not trying to push ourselves. We want to surrender, soften and connect with this love, this really open element. So finding that breath and deciding which one we want to be in for that, for this minute. And listening to that breath. Stay connected. Last 3 breaths here. As you next exhale, allow yourself to surrender down into the belly, Shavasana. Bring those hands to rest on each other and the forehead to rest down. If you want to gently rock from side to side, you can, or if you'd rather be still and just listen to that ebb and flow of the breath, then be still. We're going to just stay here for a minute. Allowing the heart's radiance to spread out to every cell in the body and express itself in our creativity, interactions, and capacity for communication. Feel that heart expanding as it lies in the chest cavity between the lungs, working side by side with the small intestine, which is coiled in the center of the abdominal cavity. Both the heart and the small intestine's chi's primary function is to rule the blood. So as we breathe into this pose, we can nourish our blood, nourish our heart and our small intestine chi, which therefore can nourish the rest of our body. Last deep breath here. Maybe you want to really let out a sigh, a real release on your next exhale. And then just bringing those hands either side of the rib cage. And inhale slowly to bring us up. And exhale, pushing back into an extended child pose. Just keeping that heart space open, just looking towards the end of your mat and just rocking from side to side. And then from there, just slowly rising up and bringing ourselves into a seated position. Bringing the feet towards the front of your mat and just pushing that tailbone, hips towards the heels of the feet and just bringing those forearms down as we then compress that lower back, abdomen down and just sliding those hands back. Now from here, we're going to have a go at a snail pose. Now this helps compress particularly the small intestine meridian, which runs along the back of our shoulders into the neck. And it's like a plough pose. Now what we want to do here is keep the knees nice and bent. And we're going to exhale and we're rocking back. And we want to try and rock in a position where we can maybe anchor the feet down, maybe not. If we can't anchor the feet, what we can do is support the back with our hands, if we need to, just for additional support. And what we really want to try and do is bring these shoulder blades down into that mat to take the pressure off the neck. So again, we just want to find our position. If the knees will come down, let them come down. If we don't need to support the back, we can take the back away. Now this is called snail pose. So again, just find the first few breaths to come into the pose. It can feel quite challenging to breathe as you first come in, so the first few breaths, maybe a little bit shorter, but just try and stay focused with them. Stay connected. That inhale, feeling rising. That exhale, releasing, letting go. And if we can find stillness, bring that stillness. If this feels a little too much, maybe rock back out. Bring the feet back down. Take a few breaths. Breathing in, breathing out. And then bring yourself back to have another go. Now remember, if we can't come back the full way, we could just flex those knees, come back and support that lower back. So this is really again about discovering you and where you are in this pose. When you've got to where you are, try and close the eyes and accept and surrender. If you want to, you could extend those legs. But remember, we're looking more for a yin rather than yang, but for some of us, extending can feel more relaxing. And remember also, if it feels a little too much, to just gently rock yourself back down and come back to the breath. Explore where that tension is, not with judgment, but with an interest and with nurture and with a loving approach. So we're coming into the final minute of snail. Stay connected to that breath. Be gentle and be kind to yourself. Be slow and be steady, just like a snail. Fill up that heart space with love. And as you exhale, let go of any tension. Surrender to it. Release it. Be patient with yourself. Appreciate where you've got to in this pose today. Stay connected. Last 3 deep breaths in this pose now. As you come out of it, you're going to use an exhale breath. So just slowly releasing. Try and come down 1 vertebra at a time, keeping the chin tucked in. Then bring the soles of the feet down and just allow yourself to sink back, feet connected. Bring the palms up to just take a few deep breaths. Feeling, connecting. Surrendering. Let those shoulders sink back. Let the jaw relax. Let the palms of your hands be open. And then when you're ready, just slowly inhale and just lift the head, neck and shoulders and bring yourself up onto your forearms. Bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to do fish pose now. So this is again a big chest opener and it can be quite intense. So I just want you to work with the intensity, looking for stillness, but obviously if it becomes a little too much, being kind, listening and easing. Now here what we're wanting to do is open our heart space. Collarbones reaching up, closing those eyes if possible, and then just listening to the flow of the breath. We want to lengthen through the front of the body. Now if this feels comfortable to do so, you can release the head back, opening up the throat chakra and feeling the rhythm of the breath. Now if this feels too much, just keep that heart space lifted and don't take that head back. Remember to be patient. One day can feel very different to the other. And if it becomes really intense, nothing you can do is just drop the chin in and just allow a little bit of space between those shoulder blades. Soften the facial muscles. And then have another go at lifting, raising the heart space. Coming back to that breath. I can find this pose quite challenging sometimes and hard work. And then other times I can feel really open and ready for it. So I listen to my breath. And I accept. If I'm finding it too challenging, I ease off, I come out a little. If I'm finding it okay and quite open, I open up, I surrender my head back. So where are you today? Remember to be non-judgmental. Remember to be kind. Remember to listen. So we're into the final 30 seconds. So about 2 or 3 more deep breaths. Breathe into that tightness. Breathe into that tension. And then exhale, release it. Let it go. It's going to be with an inhale breath where we're going to bring ourselves back up slowly. back up slowly, steadily, bringing the soles of the feet back, and then just giving yourself a hug, wrapping those hands around. Just lift that heart space up. So you can take a couple of deep breaths as you breathe in, feel the lung heart space expand and the belly push into those thighs. And as you exhale, just let go of those shoulders. Let the chin tuck in slightly towards the throat. Let those facial muscles soften. And then from there, just slowly release. Bringing those feet hip width apart, those forearms back down to slowly lower. We're going to do spinal twists now. So we want to keep this heart lung space open. So taking those hands out nice and wide and getting them down as comfortable as possible for you. So it could be an L shape or it might be T. So just play with that and just wriggle those shoulders into that floor, into that ground. And then bringing those thighs together, knees together, ankles together. You're going to exhale and drop those knees to the left, keeping that right shoulder down. Now you may want a cushion, pillow, to support under your knees here as you let that chest open. Now, if you want a stronger stretch, bring those thighs up towards the chest and take those knees down. This opens up the heart-lung space a lot more. But if that feels too much, have the soles of the feet down, so it's more that lower back. Both are beneficial. Just maybe see which one you would like this evening. And then again, just take the first few breaths to get comfortable. Prop up if you need a prop. And then just flow with your breath. Find that 4-beat breath. Let the facial muscles relax. Back of the shoulders sink. Breathe into that heart space. Nourish your blood. Let your palms open. Be receptive to any chi energy you can feel. Remember, this element is about love and joy. So allow it to fill you up with love and joy. For you. Where can you let go a little bit more? Where can you nurture and nourish a little bit more? Releasing old patterns. habits, let them go. So you can bring in new creativity, new energy. Last breath this side. And then if you can, just keeping those eyes closed. Inhale, bringing those legs back up to the center. And exhaling, dropping to the other side. Again, you may want props. Just bring them over, settle, get comfortable. Anchor that left shoulder down. Bring your focus back to your breath. Once you've got comfortable, find that 4-beat breath. Inhaling, filling up. Exhaling, surrendering, softening, releasing, letting go. The 4-beat is the inhale into the heart, all the way down to that pelvis. That pause beat, space opening in that body. And then that exhale breath coming back, slowly up the body to that 4th beat where you feel it deflating, leaving the heart-lung space, ready to start that rhythm again. Treating the heart, you connect and restore emotional imbalances in the body. You can let go of hurt and pain. And you can just nourish you, your blood, your bones, your organs, your tendons, your muscles, your eyes, your throat. Going deeper into this twist. Last 2 breaths this side. And then when you're ready, inhale slowly to bring those legs back up. You could bring those thighs in for a hug and just gently rock from side to side. And then placing those feet down, we're going to come into final Shavasana. So you may want a blanket here and a pillow, something to rest under your head to get comfortable. And then just placing your left hand over your heart space and the right just on top. And just coming into final Shavasana now. Allow the back of your body to sink into the mat. Allow the front of your body to expand and rise with the breath. connecting with this wonderful element that just wants to give. It wants to bring joy and happiness. So allow it. It wants to nourish your blood and replenish you. And just slowly releasing those hands out to the sides. Take them nice and wide and let the palms face up. And just allow yourself to breathe into the body. Allow the breath to travel all the way into the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. And then allow yourself to sink and surrender into the earth beneath you. Every inhale filling up your fire element. Nourishing you with love, light and joy. Exhale, releasing anything that gets in the way of that. And then when you're ready, just slowly wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, wiggle your ankles and your wrists. And then slowly bring the soles of your feet up to the mat. And then bring those thighs in for a hug. Gently rocking from side to side. Hugging those thighs in a little closer. And then just slowly taking those legs down to the left side, bringing that right arm up and over. So you're in a recovery position. You could do a big yawn here, stretch out. And then when you're ready, just slowly inhale to bring yourself up. Bringing yourself to a comfortable seated position. And bringing ourselves back to that thunderbolt, so the middle ring, little finger and that index finger extended. Placing those hands, back of the hands to rest on the thighs. Just closing the eyes, tucking the chin slightly in, lengthening through the spine. And just remembering our little affirmation. I enjoy the present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy the present day with joy in my heart. I enjoy the present day with joy in my heart. just slowly opening the eyes, releasing the mudra, bringing the hands together to the heart space. Namaste. Thank you very much.